My name is Faris Pleo, and I chose to make a project about glaciers because the signs of global warming are everywhere and are far more complex than just climbing temperatures. I think we need to worry about what's happening on the largest island in the world, Greenland, that is dramatically melting. In the recent ice age, almost 30% of Earth's land was covered by glaciers, including some parts of North America, Europe, Siberia, and Antarctica in the southern hemisphere. Today, only present day ice sheets are covering Greenland and Antarctica. Combined, they cover almost 10% of Earth's land area. In Montana Glacier National Park, the numbers of glaciers dropped to less than 30 from more than 150 in 1910. Vanishing ice is affecting wildlife and their habitat, such as Adelia penguin in Antarctica, where some populations on the western peninsula have collapsed by 90% or more. Now I'll say something about types of glaciers and how they move. Glacier is a huge mass of ice that moves slowly over land. Glaciers originate on land in places where more snow falls each winter than melts in summer. The snow line is the lowest elevation in an area that remains covered in snow all year. At the poles, the snow line happens at sea level. Closer to the equator, the snow line occurs only at very tops of tall mountains. Glaciers can be classified in two general groups: valley glaciers and ice sheets. A valley glacier is a stream of ice that flows between steep rock walls from a place near the top of the mountain valley. Ice sheets are enormous ice masses that flow in all directions from one or more centers, much larger than glaciers. Ice sheets are sometimes called continental ice sheets because they cover very large regions where the climate is extremely cold. The only present-day ice sheets are those covering Antarctica and Greenland. The movement of glacier is referred to as flow, and it happens in two ways. Plastic flow involves movement within the ice. Basal slip, slipping and sliding downward due to gravity. Plastic flow involves movement within ice. Under pressure, the normally brittle ice begins to distort and change shape, a property known as plasticity. The weight of overlying ice puts pressure on the ice beneath, causing it to flow downhill with gravity. Basal slip is the second cause of ice movement. Due to gravity, the entire ice mass actually slips downhill. The layer closest to the surface behave differently than the layers below. The plastic flow happens at about 50 meters below the glacier's surface, where the pressure increases. The greater the depth beneath the surface, the greater the plastic flow. Glaciers provide people with many useful resources. Glacial tilt provides fertile soil for growing crops, and deposits of sand and gravel are used for making concrete and asphalt. Many rivers are fed by the melting ice of the glaciers. The most important resource provided by glaciers is fresh water. Glaciers can act as indicators of global warming and climate change in several ways. Melting ice sheets contribute to rising sea levels. As ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland melt, they raise sea levels, adding fresh water to the oceans every day. The loss of glacial ice also reduces the amount of fresh water for plants and animals on land. Large additions of fresh water change the ocean's ecosystem, as well as ocean's currents. Additionally, less salt in oceans could disturb the Gulf streams, drastically changing the weather on land as well. Since glaciers are so sensitive to climate change, the increased speed of glaciers melting is an early warning system for the rest of the planet. Thank you for watching. See you next time.